I think I messed up my broadcast. All right, I think I did. So I can't broadcast live on Facebook, so I kind of got to start over again. Jumanji, I hope I'm saying it right. What's up, people? Happy Saturday. Welcome to Wealthy Conversations. Welcome to the Finance Rebel segment, the Saturday segment of Wealthy Conversations. Got started a little bit late. My apologies. Hopefully, I will definitely make up for it. We got a couple of great things that happen, just like anytime on radio. Things get a little crazy. So let's see here. There we go. So things get a little bit crazy. It's like on radio, I had somebody scheduled in that I've been trying to interview for quite some time now. And so they'll be coming to us at 1 o'clock hour. And not to kind of bury it, I'm going to talk to my man Mike over at Netter Gold. Many of you know I am like super duper nerdy and geeky about e-commerce. I think e-commerce is super duper dope, and Mike has built the brand on social, on YouTube, on Instagram. He built the e-commerce brand. So when I get a chance to talk to him, been wanting to talk to him for quite some time now, and so finally able to make it happen today. So that'll be good. The other thing we'll be talking about is the Lift Every Voice plan, Joe Biden's plan for Black America. Want to review that, want to see what's going on with it. So we can all be aware, so we can possibly position ourselves, and also so we can make sure that we are in a position to begin to hold people accountable and know what to expect as we go forward in this 2020, 2021 landscape. So we're going to have fun. Now, warning, y'all might want to go get some water, some popcorn, a sandwich, get you some vittles, because Mike's probably not coming on until later in the hour at about the 1 o'clock hour, but we're going to proceed on with our normally programmed scheduling. Obviously, we're going to review the markets, and we're going to talk about this Joe Biden plan. So everybody check in. Where you watching from? Where you viewing from? And how are you doing today? Starting off with Rhonda Cox. How you doing, Rhonda? Good morning to you as well. Good afternoon. Well, maybe it's morning where you are. It's afternoon where I am. Rhonda, where are you? Karan, what's up, Karan? Thank you, Karan, for posting some of those posts I just saw today. And Karan, I need to catch up with you so you can do some editing for me on those pics. I keep forgetting to follow up with you. But thank you for being here. Totally honored, totally humbled. Don Johnson, what's good, brother? Stay on the trigger. I think you got the fastest Twitter fingers in the known universe, brother. All right, over on my IG, I got Uniqua, Jumanji. I think that's how you say it. Andy Moxon, how you doing? Uniqua is from Philly, Fern Rock section. All right. Don is down in North Kakalaki, North Carolinas, getting it on and popping. So how are y'all doing this week? What investments are y'all watching this week? What did you do this week to take one giant step closer to building wealth for you, yourself, and your family? That is the question. What have you done this week to take a step closer to create wealth for you, yourself, and your family? So let's do me a favor. Matter of fact, I haven't shared this out, and so give me 2 seconds if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it or not. It's not cooperating with me. All right, well, I can't do it because I didn't do it beforehand. For some reason, my iPhone doesn't allow me to share. One, because I'm using it to broadcast on Instagram, and two, when I try to do it from my iPad, it always does something funky. So, folks, do me a favor. I'm gonna ask you anyway. Share this out with folks. You can tag me on the broadcast as well, so I can reshare it to some of my platforms. But share this out with me so we can get some folks in there who are interested and concerned about increasing their financial IQ because I love to make financial terms simple, easy, and plain, or simple, easy, and fun for everybody to understand. Well, at least I like to make them fun, or at least I think I'm fun because admittedly I'm a nerd. Admittedly, I'm a financial nerd. So and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But all right, let's jump right into it. Markets today, S&P 500 closed at 35.59. It was down about a little under 1%, right? 0.75%. It was down on the week over the last 5 days. Year to date, the S&P 500, and that's how we're measuring the stock market, is still up 10.11%, or roughly 10%. All right, gold. Gold is at 1869. All right, gold is still at 29% year to date, still running. As we see COVID spikes continue to increase, I am expecting gold to stay particularly high. However, there are some new developments, alleged developments, super duper air quotes, in the COVID vaccine delivery schema of things. But I think that's definitely going to have an effect on gold prices as well going into the future. All right, going into oil. Oil closed at 42.47. Oil's been going up over the last 2-3 weeks. Oil's been going up. Again, closed at 42.47 as of Friday. Oil is still down 24.5% year to date. Now, why is oil going up? Again, going back to that CV-19 thing. Many people are getting hope based on the COVID-19 vaccine. So we are looking at what's called an economic catalyst, actually a health catalyst that's potentially also creating economic catalyst. But I want you all to understand the term catalyst. All right, catalyst means just something that is going to create change. And anytime you hear me talk about catalysts, it could be a change for good or for bad. And in the case of oil prices, when we're talking about oil prices going up, for this conversation, we'll say it's a good catalyst for oil. All right, because we're looking at it from the oil investor standpoint. Now, we can say it's a negative catalyst for overall consumers because typically when oil goes up, gasoline prices goes up, and that tends to attack the pocketbook and wallet quite aggressively because we all had to pay more for gasoline when we go to fill up our tanks in our cars. All right, but again, it is a positive investor catalyst for our oil investors who are looking to make money in oil. Now, again, oil prices are up because people are hopped up on the hopes of vaccine is going to come out and the economy is going to get back on track. And if the economy gets back on track, that means people are going to be driving more, people are going to be flying more, people are going to be seeking out more modes of transportation. So basically, airplanes and automobiles, or trains, planes, and automobiles will get back up and running. Once planes, trains, and automobiles get back up and running, that means that the economy is kind of back to normal. I don't think it's going to happen that fast personally, but that's kind of the mindset of many of the investors. Regular old Eric, how you doing? Welcome. Happy Saturday. Now, let me see here. We're going to try to do something real quick. Now, what are we talking about? Mainly the Joe Biden Lift Every Voice plan for Black America. Has anybody read that yet? If so, what are your thoughts about it? Has anybody read it yet? And what are your thoughts about it? Share that in the comments section with me, and let me know what you think. Let's see, do I have any more? All right, so Don Johnson's coming from North Carolina. Rhonda Cox is coming from Alabama. Bessemer, am I saying that right, Rhonda? Bessemer. Hey, Adrian, how you doing? All right, so Don is answering my question. What did you do this week to increase your wealth? So Don said he made my last payment to my TSP, right? So TSP stands for Thrift Savings Program, aka 401k, aka the Thrift Savings Program is a governmental program, federal government program. It's actually one of the best retirement vehicles out there. All right, for the year. So Don has maxed out his 401k for this year. All right, so since Don made that public, can somebody tell me what the max limit is to contribute to your 401k in tax year 2020? Quick hint, it goes up every year. Goes up every year. All right. So Don did that. Congrats to you, Don. Also, Jimmy and Corey hooked him up with the precious metals course, so I'll be digging into that soon. All right, Don, congrats. Shout out to Jimmy and Corey over at By the Hood. They just released a precious metals course, right? If you are interested in investing in gold or silver, like Jimmy is showing all his gold rounds and his silver rounds that he's investing in. And now he's encouraging everybody to go invest in those as well. And he's teaching you how to do it, all right, for the low price of $50, all right? That price isn't going to last forever, ladies and gentlemen. So I expect you all to go take advantage of it. Go to BTH University or By the Hood University, www.bythehooduniversity. It's either By the Hood University or BTH University, and you can cop that. Don, what is the website? Hey, Angela, how you doing? Good afternoon to you as well. Angela says good afternoon, everybody. DJ O'Reilly, how are you, sir? Happy Saturday. All right, so Adrian says, I haven't read it. The skeptic in me thinks everything will stay regular right there on paper. Hey, I think you're right. And Adrian is talking about the Joe Biden plan, the Lift Every Voice plan, which we'll be reviewing today. All right, so Karan saying he finished up The Color of Money, started a new book, Sons of Wichita. All right, The Color of Money is a book talking about how racism and banking has impacted the Black community. Karan, I haven't read that one yet. I looked at it. I started to get it. I haven't gotten to it yet, but let me know if I'm off in that description. And the Sons of Wichita. Wichita is Wichita, Kansas. And that is talking about the Koch brothers. Now, Koch Industries, if any of you all are interested in how to get to the bag, they are a great case study. Papa Koch started it all. Then it went to the sons, and they have some kind of internal drama, but they are all basically a private company that does billions of dollars in revenue annually. It's not public. Everybody thinks you got to go public in order to get to the money. Not always. And the Koch brothers are a great example of that. The Koch brothers also are a great example of what happens when how can I say this? When you actually have generational wealth, but I would say their generational wealth is skewed to the negative side. And the only reason I say that is a lot of their interpersonal and family dynamics are super duper weird and kooky. So, but I would still encourage everybody to check it out because it makes for great reading, great learning, and you can expand your mindset. All right, so here's the link. LINK bio. All right, you know what? Let me pull it up right now. LINK.bio. Yes. LINK.bio / By the Hood. They should make it so I can actually, hey man, so I can actually copy and paste. Akatisa, how you doing? Happy Saturday. But I can't copy and paste, so I have to type all this out. Bear with me 1 second. By the Hood University. By the way, quick secret, y'all. I am not the best speller in the world either. Don't y'all tell nobody that. Don't y'all tell nobody that. And I think I misspelled it. That's why it's taking so long. But I want to show this real quick. Y'all know I love supporting my Black-owned businesses. Actually supporting Black-owned businesses is probably one of the most revolutionary things you can ever do. Why? Because the powers that be, in my opinion, want to keep us broke, poor, busted, and disgusted. And it ain't got to be that way. So I always highlight Jimmy and Corey over there By the Hood. And I am not getting it to work for whatever reason. So let's see. Oh, so I got it right, Karan. But y'all see it here. So go ahead to that link and check out their offering for the gold, the precious metal course. And I'm still having a problem with it. And I bet I probably have. I know what I did. I know what I did. I know what I did, y'all. I didn't put the spaces where they belong. Sometimes the little things matter. Actually, all the time, little things matter. So I just want to show this to you real quick. So here we are, By the Hood intro. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to buy. There it is. So they had the By the Hood intro to precious metals. Now, Jimmy said it was $50 yesterday. I don't know if they went up in the price already. If somebody could tag Jimmy and let him know we're talking about this, maybe we could kind of sort this out real quick. So somebody tag Jimmy for me. All right, but moving right along, I just want to, get to the topic at hand. So it says it's $50. Excuse me, it says it's $99 now. So maybe they went up on the price. Sometimes things rock out that fast. The catch-up limit for employers over 50 has increased from 6,000 to 6,500. Yes, but what is the total max out for 401k plan in 2020? That's the catch-up provision. So let's say you're under 50. Let's say you're 49 and 3/4. How much money can you put in to your 401k plan? Sylvia, how you doing? Bray, how you doing? Empress Lynn, how you doing? Welcome. Prez J2, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, Don, you're right. I probably should have Googled it. That'd have been faster. All right, listen, y'all. Sometimes I have slow moments. Okay, there's a discount for the course, BTA Stacker. Thank you, Katisa. All right, so Karan says the author of The Color of Money, looking like she will be part of the transition team providing. That's cool. That's cool. I will say this. Y'all know I'm not pro-party. I really don't care about Democrats or Republicans. I am a product of and believer in Malcolm X Ballot of the Bullet. I think that is the way Black folks should rock and handle their politics from a group perspective, because that's how power has gotten. Power and money, or power and wealth, is a group activity. It is not an individual thing. That does not mean you are not supposed to do your very best and accumulate as much wealth and as much power to do for the good of yourself, your family, and a community. But it just says that we must always seek for unity or strive for unity amongst our peers and amongst our people. Many other ethnic groups that do well individually also come together as a collective, and they move things. They move agendas. They move money. They move wealth. They gather wealth for their community, but they also have an understanding that their people, let's say this again, their people are more important than the money. They want to use the money, though, to improve the people. So I feel sometimes, especially in our community, we get it a little twisted. We get a little bit confused that money is the end all be all, that money is God, that money is love, that money is the healer, corrector of all things. And it is not. Money is a tool, plain and simple. Money is a tool. And when you try to use one tool, let's say a hammer, to try to fix everything, you wind up with a lot of broken holes and broken glass and broken windows. So just keep that in context, folks. Keep that in context. But moving right along, let's talk about this Joe Biden plan, the Lift Every Voice plan. Now, a lot of people will say, Kamari, you're our finance guy. Why do you talk about politics so much? Because politics is probably the most efficient way of moving wealth. Right? You could truly argue that you can't make any wealth if the political landscape is not in your favor. And how do you keep the political landscape in your favor? It's not that you have a guarantee of keeping it in your favor, But if you do nothing with it, if you are totally absent from it, if you are totally removed from it, it's going to run over you every time. The saying that I think is really interesting is that when you're, how's it go? If you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. And for a long time, Black folks have been on the menu. CEO Capital Funding. How you doing, man? What's up, Scott? I see we made it onto Instagram now. Congratulations. But, again, if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. I think that's how that saying goes. But basically it means that if you're not present in some way, shape, or form, you will get run over because your interests are not known. If you have no way of enforcing your interest, you will get run over as well. So that's why I talk about politics, because politics and money are inextricably linked, meaning that you can't separate them. Tax policy affects wealth, right? Any banking regulations affect wealth. Guess what? Both of those things are tied to politics. They're tied to the elected system. So again, we could run around and we could play this game that politics doesn't matter. And that's cool if that's your opinion, but I can show you the facts where it actually does. All right. And again, lastly, just to kind of put a period on that, many think we should go after wealth instead of politics. I feel we should have to go after both. Now, I am a big proponent of focus. However, politics can wipe out a group or a person's wealth in a pen stroke, just like politics made Rockefeller a billionaire. So when they deregulated or said that oil Standard or Standard Oil was participating in a monopoly, they made Standard Oil break up. But as that and what had happened, or as it happened, it created Rockefeller a billionaire because his interest had to be sold off and cashed out. So, again, we could say we don't want to be present because we don't think it's right, because we feel that the system isn't made for us. And again, I get all those things, but here's the deal. We're here now. And so we need to make our presence known and we need to enforce our own standard. And the only way to do that is to be educated and to be present. All right. Addicted to chalk. How you doing? Is that Addicted to Chocolate? How you doing? Welcome. All right. So let's talk about this plan. Has anybody read this plan? I saw, who did I see? Somebody commented and said they read it. Right. Adrian said she commented or she read it. She hasn't read it. Okay. She hasn't read it, but she's skeptic. The skeptic in her thinks everything will stay the same. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But the question is, if we don't read these things, how do we know what's actually going on? How do we stay informed? All right. So let's stay informed and let's have a conversation with it. We don't have to be obsessed with it, but it's important that we know what's going on with it. So let's check that out real quick. Like Kaizen Investor, congratulations on completing your 21 days of live streaming. Everybody go follow the Kaizen Investor. How you doing? Happy Saturday. All right. So here we have Joe Biden's Lift Every Voice, the Biden plan for Black America. So from the rip, I'm going to tell you what I have a problem with. And guess what? It's not the title, right? Titles are a dime a dozen. And I get the historical relevance of Lift Every Voice because they're talking about the Black national anthem, sadly, which a lot of us don't know. I probably need to do a quick tune up on all the words and the lyrics of that song myself, just being honest. But I have a problem with the Biden plan for Black America because I don't feel politicians should be creating a plan for Black America. I feel Black America should be creating a plan for Black America. And I've seen so many quote unquote bobbleheads, talking heads saying, but what's their plan for Black America? We don't need anybody outside of Black America to give us a plan. Now, we are still dealing with a case of dysfunction in our community, and we haven't figured out how to unite around the things that are really important, right? I'm not saying that we got to be best friends all the time, sing Kumbaya and eat Thanksgiving dinner together, but we all have a mutually beneficial benefit of working together. We all are impacted by police brutality. We are impacted by racial, how can I put this? Racial policies that are put forth by the government, right? That right there alone lets me know that we need to be involved in the political process as much as possible. And we need to be putting forth what we want. Now, there are several organizations. There are several organizations that have Black plans or Black agendas, so to speak. Sadly, none of them have been widely adopted by Black folks in mass, not in this country. In order to really have a true, meaningful Black agenda, we all kind of be on code. Now, I know somebody's going to say, Kamari, Black people aren't a monolith. And I always say, well, yeah, we know that. No people are a monolith. But every ethnic group that's able to represent themselves and fight for themselves, defend themselves, and promote themselves has a unifying agenda. They have unifying principles that they all fight upon. If you say something bad about the Jewish community, who are the first people that are coming out to speak? The ADL. Nobody in the Jewish community publicly comes out and says, well, they're not Black and they don't speak for me, or they're not Jewish and they don't speak for me. No, they all kind of rock to the same accord and the same tune. I'm saying maybe we should do the same thing. By the way, the Jewish community, the Hebrew community, the Israeli community, they are not the same. They all have different agendas. They are very splintered. They are not the same. They are not. Some would kind of talk about this in a black and white type situation, but the case in point is they are not the same. But yet and still, they figure out a way to work it out and work for their collective best interests. All right, Tiffany Thompson says evening. Afternoon, Tiffany. Tiffany, where are you at? He's talking about evening. Are you in like Australia or something? All right. Hell shaking street preacher. All right, Biden is a child of the devil. Okay. How should the Black community deal with that? All right, so DJ really says, I don't think the leaders we have in place speak for us. Well, we kind of put them in place to a certain degree. I think the way the Black community thinks about leadership is a bit outdated. We're all kind of waiting for Black Jesus to come back on his white horse to save us all. But the reality is that we all are leaders and we all can do something, and we can figure out who to work with, who not to work with, and be open to working with other groups that are Black, that are for our agenda. Right? So, it's just one of those things. Just one of those things. I don't know that all the leaders that we have in place necessarily speak for us, but I'll say this. I don't know that enough of us are truly informed to really speak to the leadership we have in place either. Let that marinate for a minute and y'all come back to me. Tell me what y'all think about that. Oh, Tiffany says she's in South Carolina. My bad. Have it. No problem. I get it. We are all victims of programming. Kay Landers, how are you? Welcome. All right. So that's, the first point, right off the bat, I'm not really for that, but that's not Biden's fault. That's our fault. One thing we all got to recognize is that if we want change, we can't let our so-called oppressors give us change, because it won't be change. It'll just be placation. I think that's the proper word. I think that's the word I'll use, is placation. All right. So let's start with this. So Joe Biden knows that African Americans, I hate the term African American, can never have a fair shot to the American dream, so long as entrenched disparities are allowed to quietly chip away at opportunity. He is running for president to reward our economy in a way that finally brings everyone along, and that starts by rooting out systematic racism by our laws, our policies, our institutions, and our hearts. I agree with that statement. I totally agree with that statement. Now, I'm not going to read this verbatim word by word. I'm just going to go through a couple of the highlights here. All right. So the Biden plan for Black America will advance the economic mobility of Black people and close the racial wealth and income gaps, expand access to high quality education and tackle racial inequalities in our educational system, make far reaching investments in ending health disparities by race, strengthening America's commitment to justice, make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for African Americans, address environmental justice. All right. So one thing I will say is I've been doing more research into Biden. He actually has a long-standing record on protecting the Civil Rights Voting Act, or the Voting Act of, I want to say 64. So that's not new. He's been doing that for quite some time. He's also been a supporter of DSU, or Delaware State University, as well, HBCU, a historically Black university. He's done things over those 47 years. Because I hear a lot of Black folks repeating Trump's bullet points, Trump's sound bites, oftentimes, and they think they sound sexy and slick, but they haven't really done the research. All right, so he has done things. Again, he's not perfect. No, nobody in power is. All right, and matter of fact, here it is right here. He also helped to reauthorize the extent of the Fair Housing Act. So if anybody's not familiar with the Fair Housing Act, I believe the Fair Housing Act went into law in either 68 or 69, because Black folks, even when we were in quote unquote hoods that were created by redlining, look that up. Oftentimes we didn't have any protection under the law as it relates to housing. So that was another key piece of legislation that was passed for us. All right, so advanced economic mobility of Blacks and close the racial wealth and income gaps. So what do y'all think about that so far? Now, I told y'all today has been very, very hectic. I told you I'm also going to be interviewing Mike from Netter Gold, and he's in our virtual green room. So I'll bring him on in a second. So Mike, just hang tight real quick. Like in radio, like real live radio, you got to be able to adjust on the fly. So just want to talk about a couple more points real quick, and we'll probably come back and talk about this at a later time, because I don't want to hold Mike up too long. Because, this man's busy. He's got a family and he's doing business. So that's a beautiful thing. All right. So Biden's plan calls to advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the racial wealth gaps. As I said at the top of the show, probably the most revolutionary and helpful thing we can do for the Black community is to support Black-owned business. Black-owned business that does right, though. All right. So approximately 4% of small business owners are Black, even though Blacks make up approximately 13% of the population. To build wealth in Black communities, we must invest in the success of Black businesses and entrepreneurs. I think everybody can agree with that. If nobody agrees with that, chime in. All right. Ensuring equal access to credit and capital. We're seeing some of the movement of some of the monies that are going to these what's called CDFIs. And even we saw Netflix put money into some Black banks. We're also seeing JP Morgan starting to do some things. So it's going to be really, really interesting. All right. He also talks about this double funding for this state small business credit initiative that supports small businesses, driving $10 billion in new lending for each $1 billion in SSBCI. All right. So Biden will extend the program through 2025 and double its federal funding to $3 billion. All right. A lot of this stuff you guys have probably heard before, because I have talked about this when going over some of Biden's tax plans, right? So the way Biden's going to enact, or the way he's proposing to enact some of these things, is through his tax policies as well. All right. So improve and expand the SBA, or Small Business Administration programs that most effectively support Black businesses. That'll be big. 7A program is really big. Shout out to my sister, Serena Moore, who has a whole program teaching people how to get into the micro loan, or the micro bid side of government contracting as well. I had Serena on a couple months ago. I'm going to have her come back on to talk about the program she delivers. There are people that have signed up, that watch me as a result of me, and they're making money now, y'all, in government contracts through Serena's program. So we'll definitely talk about that again. And they're going to increase funding. The plan calls to increase funding for the Minority Business Development Agency and budget as well. So Biden's plan is very business heavy, which it should be. Biden's plan is also going to talk about health disparities and disparities amongst the HBCUs. But we're going to stop that for right now, and we're going to bring my guy in, Mike. Now, Mike is the CEO, the founder of Netter Gold. Mike is the guy who's coined the term, "Why are you so ashy?" Now, Mike, I can't hear you. I don't know if your audio is on or not on.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so I was staying quiet. I'm really good at that.
Yes. No, you're not. But everybody say hi to Mike.
What's up, folks? How are you all
doing
today?
If you're on Instagram, go follow Netter Gold. But Mike, first question.
All right,
why are you so
this.
ashy, man? Why are you so ashy?
So my ashiness started at a young age. It comes from knowing who you are as a person, but allowing society to try and put you into a box, and it develops that way. It's just like it's a spread, really. I remember actually when I first became ashy, I was in some type of church function or something, and they were asking all the kids, right? Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You had a basketball player, you had a doctor, you had a football player, and I was like, I want to be a race car driver. Entire place started laughing at me. Entire place laughing so hard at me because they were like, oh, you can't be a race car, you're black, right? This is all black folks. And so that definitely was discouraging. But that's my action that started. And then over the years, I started to develop, myself again, and realized that I had to do what I wanted to do, and everybody else was secondary, thirdary, lastary. So, that's why I was so ashy, but not anymore. Not anymore. It's ashiness isn't even a skin thing. It's a mental thing.
So for everybody who has absolutely no idea what we're talking about, Mike runs a whole campaign based on being ashy. So Netter Gold makes a lot of hair care and skincare products, right? They also make, I thought I had them with me. They make, like I said, hair care, skincare products. They make these ginormous combs and picks, right?
These are weapons.
I learned a lot.
Properly, they're weapons. Yeah.
Yes, they listen, used properly, everything can be a weapon. But what I love about Mike is his free spirit, and he loves to have fun.
Thank you.
I have Facebook friends who like Mike's ads. I don't know if they're a customer of his or not, but they like Mike's ads. Like, they really like Mike's ads. So Mike has fun in his ads. So like I was telling all y'all know I am obsessed with e-commerce because of the opportunity it gives for black folks to make money and become independent. And Mike has done that as well. So through his business, he's been able to, I don't know if we can talk about this, Mike, but I put it out there. He quit his job. He has a family.
Go for it.
Yeah. He spends a lot of time with his family. And all the time. He incorporates his family into his business. So it's a great thing. So Mike, if I missed anything, let me know.
No, dude, it's like e-commerce, it gives you the opportunity to do anything you want, with your life. If you want to, because like one of the things, just like with the whole being the race car, I want to be a race car driver thing. Like, people put limits on what you can do in life based on what their limits were put on them, what they think they can do. So with e-commerce, just in a sense, you can do anything, right? You can have a 24/7 store just running. And everybody thought Jeff Bezos was crazy, when he first started. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run this thing. I'm gonna do this. And it's different, and the cool thing about e-commerce now, it's more mainstream, but it allows you to do whatever you want. Like, whatever, if you want to sell, this is like a cigarette case, right? That I use as a wallet, right? If you want to sell cigarette cases and that's your passion, you can do that, because you can find your market. But like, let's say you lived out in the Midwest somewhere like Oklahoma, and you were trying to sell like surf gear, right? No one wants to buy surf gear in Oklahoma, but you can find a market of your people in like Miami and California and start sending your stuff to these people and make it happen. You can get what you want out of life, no matter where you are in life, is the coolest thing to me. Because like brick and mortar stores are cool, but you're trapped to who's around in that vicinity. But when you have like an e-commerce store, the whole world is your playground. Like, I've shipped stuff, because I'm here in DC, so I've shipped stuff to Japan, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, the middle of Africa.
Wow.
What's that one place? What's that really rich place in the Middle East?
Dubai.
Dubai. I've shipped stuff to Dubai, like all this stuff. And it's like, my stuff would have never made it there if I wasn't shipping and working and doing e-commerce, and it just gives you that flexibility. Because earlier, like I was telling you, I was at the park with my kids. Like, my schedule every day, right, is I wake up, okay, when I feel like it, which is usually when my wife wakes me up. I throw one of the kids on me. I wake up. So it's like 9 o'clock, right, 8 or 9 o'clock. I eat some breakfast. I play with my toys, right? I have like these Beyblades. I love playing with toys. I play with my toys, right? Watch some cartoons with the kids, okay? Then we go to the park. And then we run around the park for a little bit. Like today, I play with my race car. My wife got me this race car for my birthday last year. It goes like 40 miles an hour, and I was just riding around the park, just And the whole time, my phone's buzzing because people are buying my product while I'm playing my race car. I'm so blissful. Playing my race car, enjoying life, laughing, giggling, and I'm making money. And I just get this freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, of course, I still have to work, I still have to do stuff, but it's not actually work to me. Like I enjoy making videos. I enjoy having these conversations. I enjoy my business. But like when you work a regular 9 to 5, and if it's not your bag, baby, you're not going to love it. Like, oh my God, I was telling my wife, I was like, think about it this way, right? Like if you were a kid and you wanted to be an explorer, right? Like you just wanted to explore the oceans and you want to explore like new lands, that's dead now, right? There's no more of that. What are you going to explore? Everything's been charted off. So now you got to work at, let's say, like Starbucks or something. But in your heart, you're an explorer. You want to go explore and find new things, but you're working at Starbucks. And it's like, you're not passionate about it. It's not your drive. So you're living your entire life just doing what you're supposed to do, and you're not enjoying life. Like I think personally, we should be living life very bummy, right? Like there's no need for all this stuff. Because there's like the life I want to live is super relaxed, like on an island, like bummy. And there's 2 ways I can live this life: by being really broke or being really rich. And I can't be really broke because I got these kids. So I just got to be really rich. But I don't want to be rich for the money. I want to be rich for the freedom to just be like, whatever. I want a private island and have all my friends and family on the island living in like houses and stuff away from me, of course, doing their thing, right? Like if you want to just sell t-shirts that you make out of like coconut shells, I don't care. The bills are paid, everybody's happy and it's blissful. And I feel as though doing e-commerce will allow me to just do whatever I want. It's my world. I can do whatever I want. So yeah, that's e-commerce.
Now, Mike, how did you get started in e-commerce though? Because you had a 9 to 5 job. So have you always done e-commerce, or did you start your 9 to 5 first? Which way did it go?
So I'm gonna throw it back to you though. When I was a kid, though, I used to sell Pokemon cards on the corner with my mom. She just stepped out. I was looking for. We used to sell Pokemon cards. When I got out of school, my dad used to buy me all the Pokemon cards, and all the ones I didn't want, I'll pack them up and sell them to neighborhood kids. And that was a good flip. And then Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. But no, I had like a regular job. My whole thing was I went to college, just to learn more about myself. I didn't go to school to learn anything like specifically. I went for liberal studies, and I just wanted to learn more. Liberal studies. I started with business administration, and then I did some other business thing, and then was like, I'm gonna just settle with liberal studies. Because liberal studies, if you all don't know, is just whatever the hell you want to do. Just you got to concentrate in something. So my concentration was on coaching because I was always athletic and I played sports and stuff like that. But I've taken class in like stagecraft, so it was like building stages for what are those things called? Like plays, operas, Japanese, just soccer, just so much stuff because it gave me the ability just to be free. And so I went to school, got out, and I was like, I want to make a difference in my city. So, I went to try to make a difference in my city. For folks that don't know, I used to be a police officer, and I was a police officer for 7 years. And I wanted to make a difference in my city. That was the whole thing. Like, this is my city. I want to give back to my city. I really want to make a difference in my city. And it didn't work out that way. And a lot of people always ask, like, oh, was it the fact that the police are the police? And like, that's not the case at all. Like, it's the people. Like, I'm trying to talk to people in my neighborhood. Like, why are you giving your money to this Korean-owned like corner store, and this lady just called you and your friends trash that you're still trying to give her money for a popsicle? Like, what are you doing? And it's like I'm talking to people and they're not listening, and it was just so frustrating because I'm trying to tell you, like, stop giving your money to people that hate you, and you're just like, well, this is the only place I can give my money to. So, I was working, but I picked up my body care business because I had an ex-girlfriend. And long story short, with ex-girlfriend, she had like these really nice skin scrubs in her shower. And I used them all the time, and I fell in love with them. So when I fell in love with them, I was like, I kept using them. I have a very obsessive personality of the things I like, and that's why I keep making kids. Keep making these kids because they're just so cute. Oh, but
I bet
I started
using that story. I'm sure you're obsessed about something else.
But yeah, so there's just like it's the 9 to 5 is cool, and it was a cool little bag. I learned a lot about myself and others, but I got into the business just off of humble, just really off of whim, because my whole goal in life, again, is just to be free. I always wanted a private island, but I wanted to give back to my city first because I'm a really big Batman fan. So I wanted to give back to my city before I did anything else, right? And this was a great way to do it. I asked my parents, actually. I just watched Batman Dark Knight Rises, right? I was working at Sprint my year after I went to college, and I watched Batman Dark Knight Rises. At the end, it had the big fight between the police and the Bane's people and whatnot. But I went home and I asked my parents, and I was like, because I was sitting in the movie theater, it was by myself. It was like a Tuesday. I was the only person in there, and I was like, I'm not making any difference in anybody's life. Selling phones, helping people out with phone. This isn't it. So I told my parents, like, look, I want to be a police officer or a firefighter. I'm gonna do this for a couple years to learn more about myself, about others, and give back to the city. My mom said no to both, so her opinion was out the window. She was already negative on both sides. My dad was like, you can be the police, but not a firefighter, because firefighters are always, it's like a 50-50 chance. You may end up in a fire. You may end up with like a crackhead. You never know. But
Right.
with the police, he's like, it's more, just BS calls. And he was correct. Definitely more BS calls than anything else. Like a lot of the calls I went to was just literally crackheads. Like, just, what are y'all doing? But that's like a whole different topic, honestly. Just culture.
But that's interesting, right? Because a lot of parents, I know I have firefighters in my family, and my uncle was trying to get me to be a firefighter, and they take a lot of BS calls now too.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was, I'm not going to voluntarily run into a burning building. Like, I'm not built for that.
Yeah.
Even with being the police, right? You still are going through these unknown situations. So clearly, you have learned how to deal with going into the unknown. And when you go into business, you definitely are going into the unknown. So I think that was definitely great on the job training for you as you went into your business.
It definitely was, because one of the things about it is like, we know a lot of people will say, like, why is it that, like, this police officer pulled me over, and why was he talking like why was he being an ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, okay, if he's been at work, let's say 10 hours, right? So let's say he has a 10-hour shift and he's been at work for 5 hours, and he's pulled people over, once every hour. The first person that day, hey, sir, how are you doing today? And that person's like, why are you pulling me over? Like, giving them an attitude. Because I've been cursed out numerous times. So, like, if you pull over 5 people and all 5 people curse you out, call you out of your name, call you everything underneath the sun, by the time you get to the 6th person, you're not going to say, hey, sir, how's your day? Or sir, I need you, you're like, give me your stuff. Your attitude's diminished, because people forget that, like, police are people. Everybody's a person. So it's like, if you're going to treat somebody like trash all day just because you were wrong, because, like, I've never pulled somebody over just because, like, I felt like it. You were wrong. You ran a stop sign. Like, I don't even give out tickets. Like, I hate tickets. I'm not doing that. Like, you ran a stop sign. Pay attention. I had one that, like, cursed me out because I told her to pay attention. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where did they do that at? I could arrest you right now for this. But it's like, a lot of people are rude and disrespectful, and it's because they have this, like, anger in their heart, so they project it towards you. And, like, here's the thing I learned when I was a kid, but it really started honing in when I was working and just dealing with people in general. It's like, if you feel as though whatever someone's saying is kind of correct and you've been denying it your whole time, and when they say it, it triggers you, because, like, let's put it this way, like, my entire life, let's just say you came up to me and you said, Mike, you ugly as hell, right? I'm gonna laugh and be like, yeah, probably, whatever, it's cool, I still get girls, whatever. I'm gonna laugh it off because I don't believe it. I look great. But if I'm, like, self-conscious about the way I look, the way I, like, my image, you saying that's going to trigger me. Like, I've seen it so many times just growing up. You see a dude and he's like, oh man, you gay. And dudes want to fight. Like, why do you want to fight this guy? Like, just let it be. It's not that serious. But then you start thinking, well, maybe he kind of thinks it too, but he's trying to, like, not admit it. So he's trying to really defend his honor. Like, why are you doing all that? And it's crazy, because that's how people get. And they really get offended when you tell them the truth. The truth hurts, it really hurts, and people don't want to hear it. And
or on the flip side, right? It may not even be the truth. It might just be how society has programmed you to think about a certain thing, right? You may not be gay, right? Shout out to gay folks, right? I have no problem with gay folks, but you might not be gay, but since society has told you gay is wrong, now you want to fight. Society has told you that is wrong. Now you're upset. It's an interesting dynamic. I think you definitely have valid points, though. So I'm not trying to challenge your point. I'm just
no. Like, I can see the stance you're coming from. It's just, I don't know, but then I guess it also plays on the person's mind. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, it depends on how they allow society's view of them to really affect their view of themselves, right? So, like, if I don't think, like, if I have no problem, like, okay, if someone says I'm gay and I think it's wrong that society thinks this of me, or think that, like, they think they're lesser people, then I'm going to be upset, right? Because I'm allowing this societal image to reflect upon me. But since I don't have that, like, it doesn't bother me. And it's one like it's just crazy, like watching people because like when I was at work, man, like I'm gonna tell you right now, I saw people at their worst all the time. And you really see how people start acting when they're at their worst.
Yep.
Like I've had people and they called the police on their boyfriends saying they had like warrants or that they had a gun, pulled out a gun on them, pulled out a knife. And then we show up, because this is what we're dealing with. And we get there and she's like, oh no, he just wouldn't leave my house.
Right.
Ma'am.
Right. Now it's funny, right? I don't want to go too deep on that, but I have a good friend of mine who's ex-police. Mm-hmm. And he talks about that all the time. And he talks about the experience of an officer going to a call like that and how you guys are all hopped up. And then when something bad goes wrong, we never look at that part of it. And it's interesting that you brought that up.
Like I don't really do like a lot of like I see the videos of like chases and like shootings and stuff. And I'm like looking at what we're looking at right here. This was right, this was wrong. But it's like there's a lot more that goes into it. And it's like, yo, like you get some, and it's crazy because they want you to, like, I've been someplace and I've just been eating like a sandwich, right? And then I'm heading over to a shooting. And then I get to the shooting and it's not a shooting, or it's like, it's cool, but I need to bring down my, I need to come down a bit. Right. And it's like, I have pretty good range. Say that again?
Your anxiety level probably rises as you're going. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's like if I'm going to this thing and I see somebody run across the street, like, what is this? As you start seeing somebody waving something, you don't know, they could just be waving their hand trying to flag somebody, but you're like, what's going on? Because now you're on this edge of like, what's about to happen? And it's like, especially when like people hate you, right? Especially it's like things have started to amp up, like people hate you. So it's like, right. Nah. And it's crazy because then it's just like, oh, like I remember, I think just recently I was at the hospital or when my kids was getting a checkup and I'd already quit and everything. So I see a bunch of police around the street and I knew the cars that were going by. So I called one and was like, where y'all headed? And she was like, oh yeah, they burnt down the police station. I was like, for what? And essentially this one dude, and the police in this one, they were pretty wrong. Like no lie, they were wrong. They were chasing this dude through an alley on a moped. So the dude was riding through you're not supposed to chase in DC. So he's like riding through the alley and I guess they knew him. I'm not sure, but riding through the alley, he comes out the alley and gets hit by a car. Right. So the officers are wrong because you're not supposed to chase anybody. That's a no-no. The guy, of course, had his faults because he was running. So that, the fault is on whoever, whatever. Like I'm not going to place the blame on anybody, but there's some fault.
Let me say this, Mike, because I know somebody somewhere is going to watch this and say, you guys are justifying police brutality. No, we're not justifying police brutality. But as y'all know, all the time, I don't deal with surface. I don't like black and white. I like substance. I like to get to the nuance of the thing because once you get to the nuance of the thing, you can actually get real answers. You can actually get to the root causes. So, Mike is sharing his story about his experience. So, but go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. I had to get that.
No, you're right. There's no justification. Like, I'm not trying to justify anything. I look at things from a very duality standpoint of like, this was right, this was wrong. Like, I've been on scenes where the officer was completely wrong. I'm like, what the hell is you doing? And they got reprimanded for that, right? Like, I've had to write for officers doing something wrong, right? Like punching a guy when he shouldn't have been punching a guy because the guy was talking trash about his mother. But then, of course, no one knows this, but the officer's mother just recently got, released. He died like 2 weeks ago, and he's at work, thinking he's good. And dude's triggering up because like his mother, they start fighting, okay, officer was wrong. But then on the other side, we got people punching officers in the face and just like, for what? Like, what is going on? So, but everybody's people. But of course, everyone hates, or people have like hate and a biasness towards one group versus the other. So they put this whole, you guys are wrong thing. But
tell me this, right?
Yep.
You've gone through all this adversity. You've gone through going into the unknown, right? Not knowing these situations. What tools or lessons have you taken from your job? Because we live in a very anti-job society or job shaming society. What tools and lessons have you taken from your job to apply to your business?
Just be me. Just be me. Because the one thing at work is, or like at the job, they want you to be inside of a cookie cutter mold. They're paying you to do this thing and say these right things and do this, professionally. And that's never been me. Like I've cursed out, a lot of higher ranking people because I'm like, you're wrong. What you said was wrong. The way you're trying to treat people is wrong. You are wrong. And then they always try to like reprimand me, but it never worked. But my thing was always be yourself. And not everybody's going to like that. And that's okay. And it's fantastic. Because if everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong. That's what I've always believed. If everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong. The greatest people in history always had at least one hater, right? So if everyone likes you, you're doing it wrong. And my thing is always just be you. Be you no matter what the situation is. Be yourself. Because you'll find your people. And then when you find your people, those are the ones that love you. And stick with them. Everybody else is trying to take you down. Like I just dealt with a thing now where people, I don't know if you saw, but dudes try to.
I'm gonna talk about that. Don't give it away. I'm gonna talk about that. I saw it.
But yeah, it's like just be you, no matter what the situation is. Because if you try and be like what everyone else wants you to be, you just I don't know how to explain it. Just I don't like when people assume or become the personality that they think they need to have for whatever job they're doing. Like just be yourself. Be original. Your originality, if they don't like it, then go somewhere else that loves it. But don't downplay your greatness for somebody else's, no matter what the situation is, And the same thing with business. Like I do my own thing. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's okay. Somebody else might like it. And if they don't like it, then that's gonna be on me. But don't change the way you do things just to appease everybody else. Because that's not it. It's dead. It's so dead.
All right, so like just to give the audience a kind of a clue, right? Mike likes to do videos in the rain, like in the real rain. He makes he makes these videos with a whole lot of sexual innuendo, but they're not graphic, right? They're not graphic. They're funny, right? They're adult type jokes, but they're not graphical and they're not gross or grotesque. Have you always been like that?
Yeah. I've always told people what I wanted to tell them. And if they didn't like it, that was on them, because I grew up an only child in the house. I have a little sister and an older sister, but they're on my dad's side. So I grew up the only child in my house, right? So I was always by myself. So I learned to love me. So if someone likes me one day and doesn't like me the next day, that doesn't affect me. Like I didn't lose anything. Because my thing is like when you think about happiness, right? Happiness is a scale from 0 to 100. And if you love yourself 100%, anybody else that comes into your life adds on to your 100. So 110, 112%. But when they leave, you're still at 100. So you still like you. But a lot of people enter into relationships and look for companionship or just attention when they're at like 80% happiness. So this person's giving them an extra 20 and they're like enjoying this 100%. And when that person leaves, they go back to 80 and they're like, why does my life suck? So it's like I've always been okay with telling people how I feel about things. Because
did your parents promote you to do that and encourage you to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my sure. My parents, they're the worst, man. Like my dad will tell you how he feels about anything when he feels like it. My mom would do the same thing. I just think I'm the better version of them two combined because I have more tact when it comes to it a lot of times. But so yeah,
you learned.
So what?
You learned.
Yeah, I learned. I learned to, there's a way to deliver a message. And that's I got from my father. He was always saying he was really good at telling people to go to hell so well that they would ask for directions. And he's very tactful. Like I've heard him curse people out, but not curse at all and belittle them. And then they thanked him when it was over, So I learned from that and I built upon that. But my mom she's not tactful at all. She's just straight to it.
Straight no chaser.
Straight no chaser. So I've learned how to deliver both messages, very well. And this has always been the case. Like, why should I cover up and hide anything? Like I'm just gonna be me. If you don't like me, that's cool. You don't have to like me. I like me, and somebody else is gonna like me. Because in this crazy world, somebody else is gonna think I'm funny, even though I don't think I'm funny. Somebody else is gonna think I'm funny, and it works out. That's when my business actually started to grow when I added personality to it.
Gotcha. Well, hold on before we get there. I know you said you had this ex-girlfriend that was selling these exfoliation scrubs.
No, she wasn't selling them. She just had them in the shower, like the ones from like Bath and Body Works and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So at what point did you start to make them? And because you produce your own stuff, right? In-house.
Yeah.
Because your mom helps you make the stuff, right?
She helps like pack stuff up.
Okay.
Yeah, she's retired, so she's be like, I got nothing else to do. I'm gonna come help you out.
I know that's right.
But no, like so she had all stuff from like Bath and Body Works and stuff, and I was just using it. But my skin never broke out. Like I never had bad skin in that sense where if I used something, I would start like flaking and stuff. Like I had acne when I was younger, but like my skin starting to like peel and like turn color. It was just weird. And I was using so much of this like artificial stuff that my skin was like, what are you doing, Michael? What is this? So after using it for so long, my body just started rejecting it. And I was like, something's not right. So I wanted to go for a more natural approach. And then bought some stuff, didn't like the stuff that people were using because they were still using synthetic fragrances. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me try and make my own and see where it goes. And then a couple of months of trial and error was like, I like this. And we let somebody try it and they were like, we like this. And then boom. Yeah.
So how long ago did you do that once you started making it on your own?
This was January 2015 was when I first like did all the like the IRS EIN stuff was January 1st, 2015. That's when the business actually started. But it was a couple months before in 2014 for that product development, testing, R&D, that kind of stuff.
And at what point did you know you had something?
So it's weird because I think originally I put in like $400 to the business. Like I think it was like $400 to get like ingredients and stuff to test stuff out. And then I don't recall really putting much of my own money into it after that. Like, so I probably put in maybe $1,000 of my own cash in the beginning, and then that was it. And it just kind of kept flipping. Even when like after her and I broke up and I was going through like a little depression thing and I stopped really promoting the business, I still had people residually buying stuff, like enough that I was able to pay for my Netflix, at the least. So yeah, I guess I always knew I had something. It was just, did I know I was able to make it happen? You know what I mean? Like I had something that people liked. I had a product people liked, but it started off on a rocky foundation, dipped low, and then I had to build it up, and then it dipped low again, and then it finally took off. So it was just staying the course, because that was always the one thing, like with a lot of businesses, they start and then they get up, and then they hit a drop and they don't continue. And then since they quit, they just gave up. But I went through like the crappy moments, multiple crappy moments that went along with the business and just kept with it. I was like, I'm just keep doing this. Is my thing. I'm doing this. And 5 years later, I'm just still here doing it. And that's like the only real difference. It's just, I didn't give up,
So did you have any years where you took a loss, where you lost money? You said you had a couple crappy times.
No, I'm not gonna say lost money. I don't think I've ever really lost. Okay. No, like, okay. No, not really. Yeah, no, it wasn't like a massive gain, but like, and I think it was like a business loss, but it's somehow, some way, everything was still fine. Like this was negative, but this didn't change. It was weird, but like I may have negative, like I may put too much money in advertising, but it evened out. And it was always weird how it worked out. But at no point was it like a loss, or I was just like, oh my gosh, like this isn't going to work out. It was just like, you got to try harder, got to work harder. You got a little bit of money left, make it work. You got to make it work.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know. Like, so I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you. It was weird, man.
No, it's not weird. I mean, it's your story. It's not weird. You said the business really took off when you started to interject your personality into it.
Yeah.
What led you to that, and then what happened?
So before, when the business started, I don't have one of the logos here, but it was just like a square logo, and there was no real personality to the brand. It was just a lot of, reposting of stuff, posters of the pictures of the products and stuff like that. There was nothing really to attach to. Then as time went on, I was reading books about marketing and stuff. And because I did marketing stuff in college, so I was reading books about marketing, and then like persuasion and just all this other stuff, like books about religion, just reading stuff, learning more about these type of things. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start using more of my personality, add some personality to it, and see what happens. See how it goes. And it was interesting because when people can attach themselves to a personality, it gives them something to really believe in. They're like, okay, I'm not just selling, like it's just not a picture of this jar, right? Like, who cares about this? This is just a jar of oil. Like, no one cares. This has no meaning to anybody unless you really know, but no one cares. But when you have a personality of like, hey, this is my thing, I'm selling this, then people are like, I like this guy. I like what he says. I like what he believes in. Let me support this guy. And then it starts to just grow from there. 1 second.
All right, everybody. You're watching the Finance Rebel Show. Today is Wealthy Saturday, so we have our wealthy conversations. Today, Michael Nightwing of Netter Gold is joining us for our conversation. He's sharing what's going on with him and his business. As you see, he's getting business calls right now. But do me a favor. He's sharing a lot of good gems, y'all. He's sharing some gems. There's definitely a lot of gems, a lot of jewels there. So share this out for anybody who's thinking about starting a business, anybody who's thinking about starting an e-commerce business, right? There's a lot of things here for you to learn and for you to help build your business. But Mike, you were saying that you wanted to attach your personality to your products and services because nobody's just going to buy the bottle, just this bottle.
Yeah. It's like when you find somebody, like when you find, like that's why they do like so many celebrity endorsements, right? Like they get the celebrity everybody likes, and this person endorses this product, and then people want to buy it because of this celebrity. And I tried it out to see what will happen. So I feel like there's 3 different personality styles when it comes to doing business. There's like the actual personality, which is what I use a lot. The fictitious, which is like Geico, the Liberty Mutual, something that really doesn't have a personality, but you give it this fake one. Like Geico, like that has nothing to do with insurance, but it gives something people to connect to, something soft. And then the other one is like a collective. So that's just like GoPro or like the way Nike and Apple do it, where it's just a bunch of stuff from everybody else. But it's like like the community, but like once you have, a personality people can attach to, because people are always looking for something to believe in, right? That's who we are as people. We want to believe in something. We want to attach to something. We want to feel a part of something. So if you give people something that they can believe in, something they can attach to, it makes it easy. That's why, because how do I put it? People love negativity, right? So people love being negative, but if you can give them something positive, it really like changes things up a bit, because it's easy to rile a group up when they're angry, and using like just hate speech to get your products out there. Because people do it all the time. They use like angry stuff, like, oh, we hate these people. Like I had one guy last night ask me why my product was better than somebody else's. And I was like, I don't know. It might not be. I've never tried it. It could be better. I don't know. So he's like, you're not even going to try and convince me that your stuff is better?
Somebody actually asked you why your product was better than somebody else's.
Yeah, they actually like, I get asked this question often. They're like, why should I buy your stuff over this person's? And I was like, you probably shouldn't. Theirs is cheaper. You should probably just buy theirs. And they're like, why are you being hostile? I'm like, I'm not being hostile. Like, you're asking me to prove that my product's better, but I've never even used their product. I don't know anything about it. It could be better than mine. There are a lot of people with better products than mine. I have no clue. I'm not going to argue and try to diminish and bring down their brand to make myself look better. That's not going to happen. If you think theirs is better and you're asking why theirs is $5 cheaper than mine, you should just buy theirs. I'm not going to be the guy. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you at all. I don't care. And that's always my thing, is like, it's easy to bring that, like, because I always hated the way, like PC, like Dell computers would be like, our computer's $300 cheaper than Apple's, 2 times as much memory as Apple's. But it's like, you're giving Apple all this, like, I want to know about the Apple computer now. Like, what makes it so great that y'all trying to bring it down? And it's like, it's easy. So when you give it like your own personality and you just are you and you do it your way, no one's going to, I'm not going to say, people are going to hate you. Of course they're going to hate you, and that's the point to me. But when you do it your way, you just get the freedom and you can do whatever you want. And that's where my business turned, when I started doing whatever I wanted to do. All right. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to do. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's okay. Controversy sells very well as well. So.
Right. But you're not being controversial just for the sake of being controversial. I mean, these are some of the things you actually believe.
Yeah. Like I think the most controversial one I have now was the one where I have my Neto Goldman character slapping a Trump supporter guy, and people are upset. And it's just like, I don't like, it's just a joke. They're like, oh, you think we all should, like, all black people need to think alike? I'm like, no, I don't. I think all politicians are trash, first and foremost. That's just me personally. I think they're all trash, especially professional ones. I think they're all trash because you're getting paid, whatever. It's a whole nother story, but I think they're all trash. But you're taking out your insecurities on me because you don't like my jokes. Like, you feel a certain way. Like, you're black, okay. You're a Trump supporter, okay. I don't care. But you feel alienated because black people don't want to really vibe with you because you like Trump, and then white people aren't really liking you because you're black. So it's like you're in this like middle ground, this limbo of a minority's minority, and you're just mad and trying to take it out on me. And I'm like, just because of this, I'm gonna make another video. I have a whole Trump like mask now. I'm gonna make a whole nother video just because I can.
Oh God!
And it's
I
like,
saw that video. That video is definitely hilarious.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes people have short attention spans because you started off with the Trump guy, and so it automatically either got got their attention or rejected them right away. They didn't give it like 30 seconds to where you switched over. But it was hilarious. It was totally hilarious. You gave my man a total attitude adjustment with your Net of Gold product.
It's like one of the things, like I said, I really love getting people riled up in a sense, because if I say something, right, if I say 1 + 1 = 3, right, it's either you're going to say, you know what, you're right, or this guy's an idiot, right? And if you say I'm right, then okay, cool. But if you say I'm an idiot, you're going to be arguing with people in the comments like, no, he's right. He's not an idiot. He's right. And I'm just letting y'all do y'all thing and just boosting up the engagement on my stuff and just spreading it all over. Just go ahead and spread it for me. Please continue talking trash. I love it. Like when I make my ads now, I'm always doing something. Like one of my videos, I had like extra hair butter in my hair, so it looked thick, right? So when I was combing it, it looked like it had flakes. Totally fine, right? So when people are watching, they're like, oh, okay, what he's saying is funny, haha. But then you have other people like, yo, why does he have dandruff? He's dirty. He's so disgusting. And then people are like, what are you talking about? And they're just having these arguments, these micro arguments in the comments. And I'm just like, yes, yes. Because it's like a meme. If you get people upset, it spreads more. So my whole like selling personality style is just to piss people off in a sense. Like some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it. And I really set out to piss people off. Like I did one a shirt, and in the shirt's picture was like a white lady. So the shirt said, if you're reading this, you're ashy, right? And the model, right, was a stock photo, and I used that. You said what?
But that's part of your stick. Like it's kind of known that they're jokes. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is what pissed them off, though. It wasn't the shirt of if you read it. Well, that pissed off some people. But what really pissed people off was the fact that I had used a white model as like the stock photo, right? And I did that to piss more people off, because you have people like, oh, well, this is a culturally sensitive saying, and you're using this white lady to do it. This is ridiculous. This is like insensitive. And I'm just like, I thought it was funny. And like, well, if a white lady said this to you, you'd be upset. I'm like, I would really check. If she says I'm ashy, I need to check myself. Because why does she even know what that means, first and foremost? So if I'm that dry, I have a problem. And they're like upset, and they're like, why would you even do this? And I was like, you said what?
Where did that come from? You so ashy, right? And I'm not talking about how we say it in the Black community. I'm talking about using it as a part of your ad, part of your marketing. Where did that come from? What was the inspiration?
Honestly, I think I was, if I can remember correctly, I was just like I was just chilling, like my usual life chilling. And I was looking at the Drake's album cover. If you're reading this, it's too late. And I was like, if you're reading this, you ashy. And I was like, that's it. That's going to be a good one. That's a good one. So I did it like 3 years ago, and it was funny. It was cool. Just like one little meme I did. And then a couple years later, I was like, I'm going to bring that back. And then I just put more energy and effort into it and ran with it. And then boom, here we go.
Right.
And so my plan now is to, whenever you think of ashy, like somebody being ashy or ashiness, you're thinking Net of Gold. You're thinking Net of Gold. So now I'm taking it one step further with Net of Gold, man, because you'll be like, yo, you need to get slapped by Net of Gold, man. And then just builds this whole like just running thing. Because like skincare is a very saturated market, it's very saturated, and you got to figure out what makes it different. So that's why I don't post pictures of like the products, like, oh yeah, these products are amazing, because they may not be. I don't know. Like, I think they're great. I think they work well. A lot of people do, but is it better than the other person's? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not going to argue with it. I don't care. If their stuff is better, I'm going to tell you to buy theirs and not mine. I don't care, because if theirs is better, then that means I need to do better. It's okay.
Right.
But what people are buying is the product, based on the fact that they like the personality and what goes along with it. Like a lot of people just like, I'm buying this product. I don't even need, one dude was like, I'm bald. I don't even need a brush, but I'm buying this brush because I love the way you advertise your business. Right. That's fantastic. Yeah. That is fantastic.
I mean, we were having a conversation, right? I showed you the comment from one of my Facebook friends, right? And they said, I love this guy's commercials. Like that's real story, folks. And you said, you also create your commercials and your ads to kind of make it an experience and make it fun. So you said, one, you're not really worried about a saturated market because you're going to use your personality. You're going to inject your personality into your business and whatever everybody else thinks about your business. And you intentionally make your stuff funny, right? So that's a gem, y'all. I don't know. if any of y'all are in business or you're thinking about going into business or know somebody in business, but that's a $1 billion worth of game right there.
You got to make it different, you know. And that's the thing. Like you have to make it different. And one of the things that I don't focus on selling. Like you'll very rarely hear me say buy this, right? Very rarely will I say buy this because I hate when people tell me to buy something. I don't want to buy it. Make me feel it. Make me fall in love with it. Like the ad I'm running now, I'm running a couple with like Netta Goldman just doing a front kick, right? With the theme song Why You So Ashy in the background. I'm not saying anything. There's nothing saying buy this at all. It's just saying don't be ashy. And people are like, yo, what is this? I keep seeing this. Click the link. I'm buying this. That's it. That's it. Like I could probably do a great job of telling me, like if I told people to buy this, I'll probably make more money. But at that point, it's just a one and done kind of deal. There's no experience. You know, it's just like I bought this thing off Amazon. I got it. Okay, cool. But they're not going to tell their friends about it. Right.
I think if you combine experience with a little CTA, CTA is call to action, folks. You could probably do both. But did you do any research into branding before you launched Netta Gold or throughout Netta Gold? What inspired that?
Like I read books and stuff. Like I said, I always read books about stuff. Like I was always interested in marketing and stuff and branding. But nothing in particular when it came to like how to brand your business like this way. It was just, what do I want to do? Like, what do I want to do? And I sat back and said, this is what I feel like doing. And we'll see what happens. And it worked, you know, because I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to find the people that like what I do. And they're just going to enjoy it. And that's what I did. So I didn't sit back and try and figure out like the best branding approach and marketing approach. Because a lot of times I find that when people sit back and they're trying to find the best way to do something, they never do it. You know, my thing was just, I'm going to go for it, make it happen, and I'm learning along the way. Because I know a lot of people that start and they really want to do something and they just never start. They spend all their time in the planning phase, but never go to the action phase. So mine was different where I'm going to plan a little bit and then go straight to the action. And then as I'm doing this thing, I'm going to learn and make adaptations and changes as it goes because business is always evolving. You know, things are always evolving. So I have to always be ready to change on the fly. And that's why I like doing everything in-house because if something goes wrong, I can change it up. Like I even print out all my own labels for my products because the label people just called me said they don't have the label sheet that I need anymore. Right. They're never have it for like another month. So I just switched it up and used a different label style and kept it moving. And you get that flexibility. You know, to me, flexibility is always the key. And I wanted my branding to be the same way, where it's like whatever I feel like doing, people are going to say, okay, you know what, this is what Mike's doing. And I can vibe with that. But it's not so like a cookie cutter, you got to do this. And it's not like I'm trapped in because I didn't get into business to be trapped into a box. I could just stayed at a job, which is a lot more reliable, you know? So.
Gotcha. All right. So, well, let's come up to current day, right? People are imitating your whole style. They're trying to jack your swag.
Yeah.
Over the pond in the UK. And it seems like to be a recurring thing amongst a lot of Black-owned businesses. And I saw the video you did. So, I mean, tell us about that. Give us a little bit more insight.
I have an ad that I run, and it starts out with saying, you know, I need you to answer a question for me. I need you to answer it honestly. Are you currently ashy? You know, check your knuckles, how they look. Dry, you know, elbows dry, knees dry. And this is how it starts out, right? Catching people in why are you ashy at the beginning, like coming at people's necks from the get-go. And it's a great ad. Actually, Facebook took it down because you can't ask people questions like, are you like single or are you happy? You got to ask like beat around the bush questions. But the ad itself is fantastic. I love it. And it made a lot of money. But then this company over in the UK saw it, which is cool. They saw the ad, then posted it to their page, which is also cool. Like they make a skincare company. They have a skincare company. So they posted it on their page, which is also okay with me. But they cropped out my stuff, like my company name, you know, at the bottom. And then they put like, are you actually, you know, make sure you buy from da, da, da. And this was like months ago. I never saw it. Then they used like another picture of mine of like me standing in the rain, like asking why people so ashy. Did the same thing months ago. Never saw it. But then they had the audacity to promote it, right? So they made a whole like slide thing of them trying to sell their products on this larger Instagram page with like 60,000 followers. So it got out there and people started seeing it as what you want to happen. And like 2 people tagged me in it, like, hey, Netta Gold, ? And I was like, what the hell is this? Like they used my face, like they used the whole video up until I started talking about my own products, right? That's when they cut the video off. They cropped out my name at the bottom, and then they put next to it like shop this. And then they were like, make sure you shop with us. Don't be ashy out here. The jokes, these are just jokes. We want to make sure you're not ashy out here. We're here to help you out. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? So I reach out to them, and I didn't reach out politely. I told them to take my shit down. And they tried to manipulate it like I was the bad guy, right? Like I was the bad guy for threatening to destroy their entire. I was like, I will destroy whatever you got. I have no problem making this happen.
It was like, why did you report it?
Like, why would you do that? Why you try to bring it down?
They basically try to say you a snitch, and snitching rule applies to this.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, like, how are you going to try and make it seem like I'm the bad guy here? Like, you guys stole from me, and you're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, we know we got this black business. We look out for one another. You stole from me. Like, were you looking out for me?
It was a black business. It was a black-owned business.
So the skincare company, yes, is a black-owned business, and I see like the owner's face, and he posted a picture of like him and his family and stuff like after they took my stuff down. And then the page that they used was like black-owned business in London or something like that. So I don't know if the person that had like the bigger Instagram page is black-owned, but I know the skincare company that was using my stuff is black-owned. And all these black faced. I don't know if they're black owned or not, but they said the owner was this black guy that did this. And but yeah, and they're trying to make it seem like I'm the bad guy because I told them to take my stuff down. And they're like, oh, well, it was just a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. How is that a mistake? You synced the video, right? And you knew you didn't record it. Let's leave it like that. Right. You saw the video, you synced it, you witnessed it, and you didn't record this. This isn't your video. Even if you didn't know who it belonged to, it wasn't yours.
Right.
And how dare you? I was like, you have the audacity to try and make it sound like I'm like you're defending the thief and shunning the victim. Like, where they do that at? Where? Right. But apparently they do it there. So,
and that's the bad side of what I would say black-owned business, right? Where because I'm a big promoter of black-owned business. I know you are. I know we both promote on our pages and our platforms other black-owned businesses for free all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And then when a black-owned business kind of comes and steals your stuff, just rips it off, right? Because I will say this, right? I do a lot of memes, and I might take a clip from somebody, but they're not selling anything, right? It's just a saying or something they might have, but I'm not trying to diminish their sales because whatever it was already sold. So to do that to me is really terrible, and then to kind of flip it on you is totally disingenuous. So sadly, folks, all skin folks ain't your kinfolk. Chuck
100%, 100%. Like that was just because for me, I would have no problem if they even used the video to sell their stuff and was like, this video is courtesy of NetterGo. Make sure you give them a follow. You would have diffused me, right? You would have diffused me because I'm like, okay, you're selling your stuff, but you gave me credit. Okay, all right. I would have been diffused at that point, but to just
or they could probably just asked you.
They could have just asked.
Right.
They could have just asked. You had to run me a check or tag me in the video. That's cool. I got it. It's the internet. I can't. But don't be disrespectful and then just take it and then act like you didn't know. Like, because you used 2 of my pictures, so you knew me twice. You know what I'm saying? You had to. It's like, it's just. And that's one of the downsides, and I don't know how this happens in any other community, when it comes to business, but this has happened before. Like Elijah, Comedic Knowledge, this happened to him. There was a dude who, do you remember when Elijah was doing like the God mode, stylist, like goddess mode?
Yeah, now the audience might know about Elijah and Comedic Knowledge because I've interviewed him before. I've reviewed his products before. You probably see me with a sweatsuit on, and Elijah's actually me and Mike's guy. I think Mike and Elijah knew each other first. And just to I'm going to give back to you real quick, Mike, just to give y'all a little insight, right? So Elijah, myself, Mike, and another lady by Kelly. Y'all hear me talk about Kelly all the time. I give Kelly shouts out all the time. We talk almost, we talk. And so we always are talking about either 1, trying to do better in business, 2, trying to do better for the community, or 3, how can we help one another? So we're always on this vibe of doing better for Black folks. And so when I saw you do that video, it was just like, wow, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta
It's
hurt.
disheartening, man. It's disheartening. You know, it's just like, wow. Like, do you know Empress AK on Instagram?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So beautiful, beautiful woman, right? People love her. People talk to her.
She's beautiful.
Great woman, right? I think she's a great soul. Like I've talked to her personally numerous times, but there was like a dude in New York. She's in New York. He used her photo on like a club promotion thing, or like on a flyer, and was like passing the flyer out, like printed it out, telling people, "Hey, you know, come to the party." But her face is on the flyer. Like she didn't approve of this. She's not going to be there. Then there's a guy now, like some Caribbean artist, who like has his face and then her face on an album cover on Spotify. And she's like, when did I say yes to this? You know, it's just like, then I remember when she talked to the guy about the club flyer, he was like, oh, you know, because she was like, I'm gonna sue you. I'm about to sue you. This how it's about to go. He's like, oh, come on, you're trying to bring down another black business. That's not right. Like, we got to work together. And it's like, for some reason, now you want to work together. Or you want to work together now after you've been caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Right. So now you're pleading, please, no, this is not what you're supposed to do to black business, but you were just stealing from me. And flashback to when I was at work, that happened all the time to me. A dude would steal something from a store, like let's say he stole something from Safeway, right? And he got caught by the security guards there. So I'm taking him down to the house, right, to the jailhouse. And he's like, "Oh, come on, man, let me out. Come on, black brother, let me out." I'm like, "No." He's like, "Come on, man, like just let me out." I was like, "But I'm gonna get fired if I let you out. I just released. I'm getting fired for that." "Nah, you'll be okay. It'll be man. It's gonna be a little slap on the wrist for you. You be okay." I'm like, "So you want me to lose my job and jeopardize my life with my kid?" Yeah, for your crime. Like, you want me to lose everything, risk everything because you made a decision. You want me to eat that? Come on, man. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on, just real quick. No. And that was one thing, like, I never got in trouble for it, but I would, like, when I had somebody in the back of my car, I would talk to them like they were children, like every time, especially if they really did something wrong. Like sometimes with stuff where it was just like, it happened. You know, you got in a fight with this dude. It happened. But like, you stealing chicken. Like one dude was stealing shrimp from like Harris Teeter, right? And was like, "Oh, I really needed that for my family." I'm like, "You didn't need shrimp for your family. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Like you steal bologna and stuff. You don't steal shrimp for your family." This one dude had crab legs stuff down his pants on 4th of July. I was like, "Oh, just for my family. Don't give me that. Like we hungry. You don't steal crab legs when you're hungry. You steal oodles and noodles. Don't lie to me." And you know, I talk to people like, you need to take up. Like this is one thing I hate about people, and this is like, I don't use the word hate, but this is what I hate about people is the lack of self like responsibility, like owning up to your own faults. You know, like when you're putting the blame off on all these other people, like they did it to you. I hate that. I hate it so much. Like if you did something wrong, own up to it.
Right.
Don't sit down and blame everybody else for your mistakes. Like you did that. It's not this person's fault. You did that. And I've had to tell numerous people, like, you made this decision. You decided to steal. You decided to slash these car tires. You did that. What they did to you is not the reason you did this. You did this to you. Just because you were angry didn't mean you go slash these tires. No, you did that, not them, right? You don't go smash people's car windows. You did that. But people don't want to own up to their own things. They want to put it off on other people. Like, this is the reason why this happened to me. And it's like, the same thing happened with the folks in London. I'm coming at them for a thing they did, and they're trying to put it on me like it's my fault. It doesn't work that way, sweetie. No, it does not.
Well, that's a common trait of all criminals, and I don't want to, you know, I'll stick with it, of all criminals. They stole stuff. Now, just being totally transparent, I'm sitting there thinking like, sometimes I will go grab images off the internet and use them for like my YouTube clips or my YouTube thumbnails, and I'm thinking, I guess I really need to reevaluate that, because my intention is not to rob anybody, or I definitely wouldn't have done what they did. Right. I think that's crazy because clearly it's promotion from a business. But now I'm even thinking about introspectively myself, like, well, am I taking stuff from people? Or maybe I should just go find royalty free stuff and use that, or pay for the image as well. So, or create one.
This is what I usually do. Like, first of all, I do stock photos all the time. There's a free stock website called like Unsplash. I use that a lot for just random stuff, just because I like it, like race cars. Or if I want like a picture of trees or something for my YouTube videos, I just steal it from that, right? Because it's free, 100% free royalty.
Right.
If I'm going to use so I did a video where this one dude, he took a drill and like a 360 brush and then like slicked his hair back, right? I saw that, was like, that's fantastic. And I made a drill brush just like, because he wasn't selling it, right? He never was selling it. People asked him to sell it.
Right.
He never
was. Yeah.
Right. He wasn't selling the stuff at all. So I made one because I'm not trying to sell it either. Like, I just wanted to test it out for a video to see how it will go. And it's a fantastic brush. It gets my thing looking nice. But it's like, I made one, posted a video like, hey, yo, check it out. This is the dude that, you know, like, make sure you follow the guy below. This is his idea, not mine. And then, to be completely honest, it wasn't even his idea, because this brush, like a spinning brush, came out by like Revlon like 10 years ago. But that's not where I got the idea from. I got the idea from this guy. But I saw the spinning brush a long time ago when I was a kid, but that's neither here nor there. So I gave him credit and stuff, and I did it, and boom, everybody was like, oh, you need to tag him. I was like, he's already tagged in the video. Get out my face. Like, what are y'all doing? Right. Then I do another one just in the bathroom, just like hitting my thing, and they're like, oh, you're stealing this guy's idea. You need to give him credit. And I was like, one, I gave this guy credit when I first did this, like a couple weeks ago. Right. And two, he's not selling this at all. That's like me seeing a guy do a skateboard trick, and I do the same trick, and you're like, I need to give him credit. I just did he's not selling this. This isn't something he's selling. So it's like, I'm not stealing anything. I'm not trying to profit off of this. I'm not selling this brush. Right. But there's like a fine line. But like, I always try and give people credit for their stuff. Like, if I just see some random internet and it's just like randomly just tagged somewhere, I even try to use whatever URL I got it from, right? Because like, this is where I got it from. So I may have got it from your Instagram page, and you may have got it from somebody else's, but I'm giving somebody some type of credit, right? Giving credit where credit is due. Or even I'm asking, right? Or do you know who this person is? So it's like a lot of those Instagram thirst trap pages, which I know you follow a lot of. You know, they have the women in there and they're like caked up. But then
wait a minute. I don't follow those. Actually, when I first got on Instagram, I did follow. Now I'm unfollowing. Just to be clear.
I'm not gonna lie, I did the same thing. It's just like, oh. And I was like, I'm tired of seeing this. This isn't building up my life at all. Like, I'm not just helping out at all. At all. It's then you go through a phase, you're like, I'm gonna refollow some more again. Nah, yeah, I understand. But it's like, I see these pages and you're like caked up or whatever, and it'll have like, isn't she like bad or whatever, or what do you rate her? But then there's nowhere is it tagged this woman's like name at anything. And I'm just like, you know, this wasn't yours. And if you find it on the internet and you're sharing it, at least put in there, tag this person below if you know who it is. Because you may not know who it is, but at least put the effort and look like you're trying to find out who it belongs to. Because like in the video I posted on YouTube and Instagram, there's like a lady, I keep seeing her stuff, and she has like a bunch of Instagram models, you know, caked up and whatnot. But every one has like, you know, isn't she like whatever. And then it's like I'm gonna just say like Prime, right? At Prime. So people are thinking this is the lady in the video, like, oh yeah, I'm about to go follow her. And it's the owner of the page who ain't that at all. Right. And like, she has like 30-some thousand followers, but her comments on her pictures are limited, so you can't comment. And same thing with the actual page itself. It's like all limited because she knows she's wrong.
I'll say this: if anybody limits their comments like on a regular basis, there's something going on with them, right? Whether it's a guru or whatever, something going on. Unless you know there's really like some incendiary stuff going on in the comments, because that can go down.
Oh yeah, a lot of hate just because
Yeah, you know, you might want to shut down the comments then. But if they do that as an ongoing practice, something's wrong with that, and you might want to either look a little deeper or disassociate yourself with that.
It was you know, Travis Scott, the singer, he shut down his Instagram page for a couple of days because they were clowning him so bad about his Batman costume. So he looked like the Flea off of Lucha Libre. But then, do you remember any chance? You remember the guy, and his name was like Benny? He's like really big hair, like the really big hair guy. Like, no, his name is like Benny. No, he's like a model, but his name is like Benny Harlem, and he has like the world record for the world's tallest hair or something.
Black dude, I don't think I know that guy.
Dude, look him up, right? So he has like really big hair, just a lot of hair, right? And his wife has like a lot of hair, and then his daughter has a lot of hair. But there's like all these conspiracies that's not his daughter, it's not really his wife. There's like a picture of them at like a beauty supply store with just bags and bundles of hair. People are like, if it's your real hair, why do you have bundles? You know, but he started selling hair care products, right? His Super Grow hair care products, and he was selling like the system of like 10 items for like $600-700, right? like a lot of money. And women are just like, I need to get this because I need to get my edges. I need my hair like this. He's really preying on these people. And then a couple people bought it and they get it. And they find out as they're looking at the products, like one of the jars that he had was like something like maple hair growth activation or something. And they got the jar and then they held next to it the exact same product they got from Walmart. So it was like a Walmart jar of like maple syrup or something with like stuff in it. Both were the exact same thing. Same top, same bottle, just a different label. Everything was the same. But the Walmart thing, of course, was like $5 and his thing was like $200. And they're like, what the hell? And then he shut like his comments down on his page. And then miraculously, he got bit by a snake while he was like overseas. That guy, he got bit by a snake while he was overseas looking for like this special oil to help with the hair growth or whatever. And he was like, he had a picture of like him in the hospital with like the IV and his wife and his daughter were like on his shoulder, you know, just like, you know, kind of like praying for him. And it's like, bruh, you didn't get bit by a snake in a different country in the midst of people coming at you for the fact that you are selling Walmart brand food items to people for $600. That's not how this works.
So the title here is Benny Harlem, $1 million scam, question mark.
Dude, that's like such a huge finesse.
That's pretty bad.
He finessed people so bad. Like, dude, it was, oh my gosh, like the way he finessed these people. And I feel bad because it's like, I'm trying to do honest business, you know? I just make my products. I think they're good. I think they work very well. And I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to be happy and joyful and love your life and look in the mirror and say, you know what? I look great. I look fantastic. That's what I want. That's why I do this, to make you feel good because I look good. So my self-confidence makes me feel great. Every day is a good day. So I want you to feel the same way. I'm not scamming anybody, not finessing anybody. I'm doing honest business, which is the reason why when people try to steal from me, it hurts like hell.
Right.
But you got this guy who's finessing so many people. And then I'm being compared to him. People are like, well, how do I know you're not going to do me like Benny? We different. Look at us. We different. This is my real family. I don't know about this guy. Like, this is my real hair. This is my real hair. Okay. This is my real hair. This is it. And it's just like, and he has like pictures of him with like lip implants, then like his regular lips. This is crazy. But then I'm like, how are y'all falling for this? Like, what doesn't look like a scam?
So
Like
it's funny you should say that, right? It's funny you should say that. And I don't know if you've seen any of my posts, but between the social media gurus and the straight up crooks, I feel like everybody's attracted to them. And somebody said, Kamari, why are you hating on these people? I'm not hating. I just don't get why some of these people might have 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, a million followers. And clearly they're a scam. And they've been documented oftentimes as being scammers and people still follow them. I guess it goes back to your previous point, right? Everybody wants somebody to follow.
I got it, right? Just like you said, just that. I feel as though when you're lacking something, like think of like a puzzle, right? When you're lacking a piece of your puzzle, you're always going to try to find that. You're always on the search for that piece of the puzzle. So if you're lacking, let's just say hair, right? You don't have any edges and you need edges and you've tried stuff and it didn't work. But this guy is saying he has the answer, right? And he's selling his snake oil to you and you just believe in it. You like, yes, okay, yes. You start becoming a part of this cult-like thing where you're just like, you know what, no matter what this person says, I believe it. I'm gonna believe it. And then you bring other people along because people are looking for something to complete them. And if you find somebody, I'm gonna just say someone's like my personality, like a big personality. If I'm a big personality, if you have a small personality, I can be the one that completes you technically because you feel as though you can't speak for yourself, but I'm speaking for myself. So you're like, Mike does it. I like that. And I can say whatever the hell I want. I can just make you feel whatever way I want you to feel and finesse you. And it's like a lot of people, because how do I put it? No one, I'm not gonna say no one, but the people that get finessed are always looking for something. They're always looking for something. And it's like, it's difficult to finesse somebody that isn't looking for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to get, you know, like a verification check mark on Instagram, right? The blue check, and you really want it. Somebody's gonna say, yo, we can do this for you right here for like 600. You're like, yeah, okay, got it. Instead of just, no, I'm good. I don't need it. So when you feel like you want something, you need something for validation to make you feel better, you believe whatever somebody's selling you. And these scammers, You know, what's that one guy, the Tulsa real estate fund thing? You know I'm talking about, that guy? Yeah, that guy. Like, so you don't got to comment, but I think Chris and I think we put like $1,000 into it, right? Because we saw, we're like, okay, cool, let's give it a shot, whatever, let's see what happens. But like, I never looked into the guy himself. Like, I never really looked much into him. I was just like, okay, cool, you know, all right, we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. And it is, I don't know where it is now. I'm pretty sure I ain't got no money there, but it's like a lot of people I've been reading these comments are just like, nah, this dude, like, he knows what he's doing, and I'm like, how do y'all know he knows? Like, where are y'all getting this evidence from that he knows what he's doing? And then you guys like bad mouthing people that are saying like he's a crook. But again, when you can form a cult, it's fantastic. And that's essentially what's happening. You got people that are really strong personalities.
What made
you said what?
What made you put $1,000 into it though?
Oh, a buddy of mine was like, yo, I'm about to do this. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Bet. That was it. It was like, sure, we give it a shot, see what happens. Like, I honestly never saw any of the stuff about what it was. I think then Chris looked at it and she was like, oh, this looks okay. This looks cool. You want to give it a shot? I was like, sure, let's give it a shot, see what happens. That was it. Like, I'm very loose with my cash. I'll give it a shot, see what happens, right? The worst thing happens, I'm out of money. Say that again?
I said, we take donations and investments over here.
It's just like, it's, you know, I gave it a shot, and it's like, you know, I don't feel any type of like for or against. I don't know the guy, you know, but he's obviously seems like a scammer. You know, I had to look at it and see everything that's going on. He's clearly a scammer. But it's like, if you can get people to believe your scams and believe you so much, no matter what you do, you're gonna be good. You know, and that's why with the Benny guy. These people just believe in this guy so much that it's clearly been shown that he's selling $10 products for like $600. But everybody's like, no, it works, because you want it to work. You got this placebo, like you really want it to work. So you grow, you gain like a little hair.
Let's take the opposite end of that, right? So clearly, I'm not for selling. I'm not for scamming anybody, right? But what he did was that extra premium between that $6 and that, what you say was something for like $100 or something like that, something crazy.
600.
That was how much?
It was like $600.
600. So that was $594 extra premium because of his brand. Now exactly. his brand wasn't built on, you know, I want y'all to follow me here, right? I'm not trying to justify what he did, but I do want to show that his brand made up that extra $594. And that's the same thing that Nike does or any of these other big brand names. Yeah. Nike pays like $10 or $20 for a pair of Jordans, and they sell them for anywhere from $150 to $250. So the difference between the two, between the cost of a good, right, finished product, and then the difference of what it's finally packaged for and sold for, oftentimes is branding. That's it. There's nothing.
I have no problem with that though. And I'm sure you don't like that. I don't have a problem with the branding. If you want to sell it for $600 and that's what you say, this is what my product is worth, right? I'm okay with that. But to me, it's the dishonesty and playing on people's weaknesses. That's the problem.
You're saying you did one thing and that's not true. It's not honest. It's not integral.
Yeah, like he was saying, like this is stuff he uses his hair to grow his hair. But it's like, that's what? Like, so you're telling me, because it's like the crazy thing. So your entire life that you had this long hair, you've been using these products here, but you just recently decided to like make these products available. Like you've just been always making the stuff. Yeah, it came like it's in a Walmart can.
He's got nothing but juices and berries in his hair, and he wants to now sell it to everybody. But they ain't juices and berries.
It's the finesse, and I don't like when people finesse. Like if you want to charge, you know, $1 million for whatever, I don't care. That's fine. If that's what you say it's worth, that's what it's worth. But don't finesse people, and that's where it really bothers me because, you know, black business has it hard enough, but then you got people just trying to cheat, like always trying to cheat. Like there was the guy at Howard University. He was like a student, and he was like. He worked in like the financial aid office, and he kept telling people, "Oh no, your financial aid's been denied. Your financial aid's been denied." But this man was running the checks on their behalf into his account. So this man was balling, living his best life, getting professional photo shoots, like Armani clothes and everything, balling out on these people's lives, finessing these people, but ruining their lives. Like telling somebody you can't finish your college credit, you can't graduate, you don't have enough money to graduate. Why you are spending that money on shoes? That's what bothers me. Like. I don't like when people bring people down.
I get it.
You said what?
I get it. I get it. Your frustration. I get your frustration. Yeah.
It's so bothered.
No, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. But Mike, as I don't want to keep you all day. I know you got the family. I know you probably got some work to do today.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey, well, that's the benefit of freedom. But 2 questions for you.
Go for it.
1, why should anybody start an e-commerce business? And 2, what are a couple things you would suggest everybody to do when they start their e-commerce business?
So I think no matter, like, especially in this time, this day and age, you should have something in your back pocket, just something you can do that, one, you just enjoy and can bring you some type of extra money, because there's a lot of uncertainty going on. Like with the furloughs that went on with the government, and the women started to sell, was it cupcakes or something like that? Like, you got to have something that you enjoy and something to fall back on, because nothing is guaranteed. But one thing you can make sure happens is that you're always happy by doing whatever you want to do. So I think just starting an e-commerce business, or just doing something you want to do. Like if you just want to make YouTube videos, if it's something which obviously can turn into an e-commerce into a business, but just do something you want to do that isn't attached to somebody else, like so heavily, because like your job is depending on how they want to keep you. If they want you there, if they don't want you there, let you go. But if you build like an Instagram following or a TikTok following or YouTube, you can do whatever you want, and it's your freedom, it's your time. And I think freedom is what a lot of people no longer have the luxury of enjoying, because they're just trying to survive. But if you can find a way to just edge in a little bit of freedom, a little piece by piece, and grow a business or grow something you like to do, you'll be a lot happier. And you'll soon realize that you don't need as much as society says you need. Like you don't need all this stuff. It's just people make you want these things, but you don't need it. And then for the second part, it's like, if you're going to start a business, one, you got to know somebody who knows how to talk about money, because I don't know if you know anybody that's really good with money, but any accountants or anything. I don't know if you guys know anybody like that, but I think it's important to at least have somebody in your corner that knows money and has your best interest at heart, because there are a lot of people that it's like joining the NBA and getting your agent after you signed your check, or after you signed the contract. Like, you don't mess with somebody when you're already balling, because they just want you for the money. Find somebody that really likes you, really trusts you, that you trust from the beginning. And then from there, develop your business and just be happy and be joyful, whatever you want to do. But make sure you have like the right people in your corner, because they can make or break you. If you have the wrong people in your corner, they will destroy every dream you ever had. And they will send you to a very dark place mentally if you are associated with the wrong people. That I can tell you. And don't do that. Please don't do that. Please.
No, I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate it. We need to do a follow-up on this. And I'm noticing something. I have a question for you. What camera are you shooting?
This is the
Lumix
Lumix G7. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just want everybody to know Mike has been doing a low-level, high-level flex for me this whole time, y'all, because he busts my chops because I don't use my Lumix G7 all the time. And his picture looks great. I'm not going to bore you with all the the technicals of it all, but his picture looks really, really good.
So we got in a little later than I wanted, because I was actually going to use this one on you. And I was going to plug this one up just to annoy you. But I was a little bit late, and I didn't feel like grabbing the cords for that one. And then my G9 over there, I was going to use that one. But I was like, this was already set up. So I was like, this is what you're getting. But invest in your craft. You got the investment in your craft is good. But now I will say to a lot of people, value is more important than having pretty images. Okay? Kamari gives way more value than I do. And this is he may not agree or whatever, try to be nice about it, but he gives a lot more value than I do. And his value is what's important, right? He can make the images better. He can definitely make the images better. We both know this for a fact. But the value he gives to the community is what really keeps people in and brings people in. That's why people are here, because of the value you give. And I love the value you give. Me, my value is kind of, I think I'm doing good, so I'm going to make it pretty as well, kind of hack my way into it. But the value you're giving is fantastic, and that's why people are here. It's from a good place, and you're doing it because you love it, not because you're trying to make $1 off of it. And that's where people really start to make it, like, you notice these things. Because when you're trying to make money off of something, it just never feels right. It just doesn't feel right. But when you're doing it because you love it, it's game time, baby. It's game time.
Thank you for that, Mike. Listen, y'all, I did not pay Michael Nightwing, the founder of Netter Gold, to say any of those kind words for me.
You sure?
He
Sure?
he threatens me often
I got 4 pennies right
about my.
here. I got 4 pennies that said you paid me right here. Otherwise,
Oh man, oh man. But hey, I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I would want to do a follow up on this because I love e-commerce. But again, I think it's a field, right? And again, e-commerce is vast that our community can definitely take advantage of. Listen, we are the creators of cool, so a better place to do it than on the internet. We don't need brick and mortar stores anymore. And not to be confused that brick and mortar stores are not useful, but listen, a lot of us are starting from the bottom, right? We're trying to grind our way up to the top. We're going from 0 to 100. Why not start with something on the internet? It's lower cost. It's easier to reach a broader base. It's actually easier to make money. But again, I bring these to y'all because I'm interested and I think it's good for the community. But I thank all of you all for being here, rocking out. I know today was a little hectic. I'm going to come back. We're going to go over the Biden plan and full scope. We'll check it out, top to bottom, and kind of position how we think about it. I saw some comments about it. I can't get to them now because it would be a little out of scope here. But I'll definitely come back to it. We'll do it maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. But we'll definitely come back. Again, Mike, I appreciate you. Everybody, go out to Netter Gold. I saw Don Johnson post the Netter Gold website. So go follow Netter Gold. Go buy a gigantic pick. They've got butters and creams. I've been using some of them to grow my beard. Somebody asked me, Kamari, why is your beard getting thicker? And I said, Netter Gold. So Mike's got some stuff for me. Put it on lock. And so, go check him out, y'all. Go check him out.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, I appreciate you so much. Yeah. I love what you do. By the way, you do bring immense value. Comedy is valuable, right? It is. Laughter, especially in this time, is valuable. And when you can do it without making fun of anybody else, like directly, and you can do it clean, that's valuable. That's gold right there. Thus the name Netter Gold. But see y'all folks later. We'll be back the next time. Everybody have a great day. I'm always humbled and honored that you're here. Don't forget, tomorrow we're doing the Black Wealth Project at 7 p.m. Tomorrow's topic is we're reviewing Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. So if you got time and some space, come on and check us out, and we'll all have a great time. See you all folks later. Have a great day.